Slania, I'm Corvus Bruxo and you're watching Starting Out Solitary. Today we're talking about the spiritual places that we would like to visit. So, spiritual places. There are so many spiritual places and places of power that I would like to visit that I can't count them all. So, and this is around the whole world. So I will focus on my country, not my country, sorry, because there are places from Portugal. In the Iberian Peninsula where I live in my religious and magical context. And so the list will be long, but not so long, okay? So I will give you the name. The names will be in the description box, so if anytime you come to Spain or Portugal for vacations or whatever, and you want to locate them or you want just to look them up on the internet, you will be able to find the name because there are Spanish and Portuguese names, mostly. And yeah, in the description box, okay? I will be reading from the list and I will be as quick as possible because I don't have much storage. I would like to visit in Portugal the Cromeleque dos Almendres. It is the biggest cromlech in the Iberian Peninsula. Also the caves of Altamira in Cantabria. They're a cave with some of the most important cave paintings from the Upper Paleolithic. Then regarding my religious, nativist, tribal, polytheistic, Celtic Iberian beliefs, we have Castro, Ulaca. It is a fortified town in Ávila and it has a ritual sauna and the biggest urban altar of sacrifice. Then we have Numantia in Soria, and it is a city, a Celtic city that defied Rome for 20 years and suffered 13 months under siege. And in the end, when all hope was lost, they decided to burn down the city instead of becoming slaves. So even Rome praised their love for freedom. And then we have another Celtic city, Segeda. It's the city that made Rome change their calendar. So months with a number implied that are not that hold not that position in the year, it's because of Segeda. Like October is not the 8th month of the year because they changed the calendar because they wanted to go to war, and this city was building up a wall, if I recall correctly. So before going to war, because of Roman laws, they had to have some elections. So they changed the calendar so the elections would be sooner, so they would go to war sooner, and they wouldn't have finished the defensive walls. It was something on that fashion. There's also the sanctuary that is for the observation of the equinox and solstice. So that the Celtic people didn't care about solar events. False. Some people cared about solar events. Then we have the sanctuary of the god Berobreo in Facho de Donón, Galicia. It is facing the Atlantic. My town isn't in a Celtic context, but my town faces the Atlantic as well, so we have that connection. And the name Facho de Donón also links the place probably to the Irish mythological figure of Donón. That figure in Irish mythology, not in Iberian mythology, he is actually from Galicia. So it's like an intercultural connection that we have there. For the god Endovelicus, one of the main deities in my pantheon, we have the sanctuary of São Miguel da Motta, where Hispano-Roman sculptures of Endovelicus were found. We have in Portugal as well, sorry, the sanctuary of Rocha da Mina, where a prophetic cult similar to the one in Delphi with vapors steaming up from the rocks and inducing trance would have been performed. And the reason for believing this is that there's a Latin inscription saying ex imperato averno, meaning by the determination that emanated from below. And the place that I would like to visit the most is Santa Lucía del Trampal in Cáceres, and it is a church that's between Visigothic and Mozarabic architecture. It was constructed upon the remains of a now-dose sanctuary for Dea Domina Sancta Taethina, the Holy Queen of the Underworld, viewed as Proserpina by the Romans and related to goats, cycles and vegetal life. In this sanctuary there were found figurines of goats devoted to her from the worshippers to her. These figurines were in bases with 4 holes in which the legs of the goat were fit in. So the interesting thing about this church is not only that it's constructed upon the sanctuary of Taethina, probably the darkest and most important goddess in my whole pantheon. It is that some of the stones that were used to build the walls of this church are some of the bases of these figurines that are offerings to her. So you see the walls, I will try to find a picture, okay? You see the walls, and sometimes you see like this stone that has 4 holes, and it's because they were the basis of the offering figurines that she was given by the worshippers. So that sure creates an exchange of energy for sure. So I want so much to visit that place. And that's regarding my religious beliefs. Regarding witch trials, we have Zugarramurdi, where the biggest or at least most famous witch trial in Spain was performed. It is in the Basque area, and if you watched True Blood, season 4, Antonia Gavilán de Logroño, I think she didn't exist, but the trial in which she was killed, sentenced, it is the one in Zugarramurdi in 1610, in the year 1610. So yeah, Zugarramurdi. Then we discovered that in Aragon there were documents that proved that it was a slightly bigger witch trial that was hidden, and a priest discovered the documents or something like that. It is in Las Paules, and I want to visit Las Paules for the very same reason. Then we have Trasmoz. It is the only Spanish town to have been excommunicated from the Catholic Church. And finally, well, we have Salamanca, where a big school of necromancy was believed to be there, and people from all Spain would move to Salamanca to learn the black arts, so I would like to visit that place too. And finally we have Castillo de la Hiedra, the Ivy Castle in Cazorla, Jaén. It is in the same autonomous community where I live, even it is quite far away, but it's the same cultural context. And there's a legend about a Moor princess that was locked in a nearby cave because the Christians were attacking. Moor sometimes doesn't mean like Arabic people, but more like non-Christian, and sometimes legendary ancestors. And this Moor princess was locked in a cave to be safe, and his father was killed before being able to go for her and get her out of the cave. So she was forgotten, and because of all the environment of the cave, you know, the humidity, the darkness, she transformed in a creature named as La Tragantia, that is half woman, half snake or serpent. So those are the places that I would like to visit. I'm running out of storage, so I won't delay this too much. I hope that you enjoyed, that you're interested in some of them. You will have the names in the description box. Thanks for watching, guys. May the gods and spirits watch over you all. We'll see each other next Friday. Slania.